Miss Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Miss Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Miss Universe podcast.
Hello. I know I'm already excited. I cannot help myself, all right, people? We're recording on a Monday morning for those 3 episodes for the week, and I am pumped up. Pump it up. I should have changed my intro music. Ooh, I want to thank my genius creator and friend, Jenner Zeno from Studio Stargazers, who actually has done this mix. He is a genius. Love him. So, in today's podcast, we're going to be talking about chasing stillness in a loud world and the power of intentional silence. Yes, I know. We're going that route, people. Cannot help myself. And it is what it is. So, we're surrounded by noise. This is so true. Not just auditory, but mental and emotional clutter. From constant notifications to internal pressure to always be productive. Work, do. And we rarely give ourselves permission to pause. Been there, done that. So we're going to be talking on this episode about invite you listeners into the forgotten practice of intentional silence. Not just the absence of sounds, but the presence of self. In a world that profits from our distraction, choosing silence is an act of rebellion and reconnection. So, if we're looking at the psychology of noise addiction, our brain have been wired from constant stimulation and how silence feels threatening because it reveals what we've buried. It is so true. And I can take example of, again, your little guinea pig, myself. Yes, I do. Because when I generally work, I have music or I have a background sound in most, and I said in most cases, not always, but in most cases, I do. And it's very distracting. I don't have to think. I focus on what I'm doing and I have that noise in the background. Then a few years ago, I was done with a job and I was ready to actually start my business. Actually, that was in between that phase, and I took the time to start to sit down outside, and I explained that in a past podcast, but I'm going to reiterate this one because this is how it started with me. I took that chair, a long chair, or a gravity chair, and I just lay down on it for 5 minutes. No music, no reading, just sitting down and listening, aka being present within myself, but looking around and really observing what's going on around without any noise, just listening. Now, when we practice meditation, people assume in all of the meditation you sit down and you quiet yourself and you think, you empty your thoughts, and that's it. So this is a form of meditation, and again, keeping yourself silent. Now, there is other practice, and one of them, it's slowly moving, walking slowly, but taking the time to observe the body, the movement, how it feels, and the surrounding area. So basically, you're immersing yourself within your environment without any phone, any distraction, no kids screaming, nothing, no hubby crying for food, nothing. just yourself. So these help to really becoming to change or become more centered whole. Again, our brain is addicted. How many hours do we spend on social media? Because there's people who are freaking addicted to it. They think social media is now their world, when in fact it's an illusion because it's technology. The real world is not in social media. The real world is where you're living and breathing in. So our brain, we're going to try to find distraction. You going to try to find a distraction to be distracted of your life, distracted of whatever you're trying to avoid. And I've done that, been there, done that. When there is a situation you do not want to deal with and you're like, okay, I'm going to go distracted and I do not want to deal with this emotion. I don't want to deal with anything at all. However, when you bring silence into the equation, this is where your ego, your big voice, your loud voice, not gonna like it, because loud voice wants the noise, wants the distraction. But it's gonna start to, like the onion, you're gonna be peeling the layer of where you are, and the thoughts are gonna come. And some gonna want to get you excited because they want you to participate in there. So when you do a silent meditation, or you silence your world around you, you become the observer. You have to put yourself into the observer space. So in order to stop the noise, you have to consciously create that silence, even if it's completely uncomfortable, and it could be, but this is one of the best paths ever. So the productivity trap, like I just said, the productivity trap is not that great, because again, it doesn't, give you room when you are spending so much time on social media, becoming obsession with output that leaves no room for inward reflection, and what true creativity and clarity are born in stillness, actually. Creators, unless you like to listen to very high level energy music, but creators like the silence, because your creativity, your ideas are not born out of the chaos, they're born out of the silence, meaning letting your inner self express itself. If you see a potter, if you see a painter, if you see a writer, they get an inspiration, they get an idea, then they're going to be focusing and immersing themselves into their creation. And that is something that we all have that. I'm not going to say luxury, but I'm going to use the word luxury on this one, to do. So when you're looking at people creating, and even if you're looking at designers, at anything, somebody who's creating food, who's going to make good food, who has the inspiration, is going to go behind its stove and start to create and invent and design and taste and say, nah, it's not good enough, and try it again until they get it. No, their focus is on their creativity, their idea. That's what it does. But it's born of clarity in stillness. It's not the chaos where you're spending your time in social media. That doesn't give you the creativity, because that sucks the life out of you, or the energy, not the life out of you, but the energy out of you when you're doing this. But you have to understand the creativity. Maybe, have you ever, let's do this. Have you ever, or let's say this, done a project at home? Maybe you want to repaint a room, you want to refresh a room, and you're all excited. You go to the store and you're going to spend an hour. I don't, because generally I know what color I want. So I'm the oddball who goes in there, zoom directly into the palette, the color palette, and just like, I want that color in flat. Get it? So you spend your time to look at all of the colors. So you're not doing an MI, you're doing what you do. You find the right palette colors and you talk to the people. They give you what you want. You buy all of the accessories, paintbrush and everything you need. You go back home, you move everything. You can put some music on, but you are focused after that on putting everything, like you're going to tape everything around, then you're going to start to put the paint, and you're going to start to paint, and the energy of creativity comes along, and then you're almost done with it and say, well, why don't I change some of the stuff? When I change the curtain, when I change this, your creativity takes place while you're doing something that really inspires you. Does that make sense? Think about that, because I've done multiple times in my condo. When I had my condo, I used to do that, and I changed the entire condo. Actually, I redid from the floor to the ceiling. I redid everything. So those are the inspiration where you look back and say, okay, what else can I do? The same when you're planting, the same when you're cooking, the same when you're creating. You're maybe going to be baking stuff, and you're creating it, and you're adding it, you're testing it. And this is in the moment where you're testing it, when you're focused and you deep into it, and you're just like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. And maybe you're going to walk away from projects, and maybe an hour later you're doing something, you're on and about doing something, and you get that solution that comes along. It's like, holy crap, I could do this and that, and whoops, you're back again at it. We need to relearn how to be quiet, because the practice practicing the step and the practical step for transitioning from fear of silence to embracing it. A lot of people don't like silence wear them out. They have to have noise. I had somebody who had to sleep with the TV on, because that individual could not sleep without the TV on. And I'm like, well, good luck with that, because I like to sleep in a complete quiet environment. I don't want any noise, unless if it's raining outside, but I don't want any electronic noise. I don't want any music. Or if it's music, it's very soft and low music level, then you barely hear it. But you have to relearn how to be quiet, because the fear of silence is an illusion. You have to embrace it. So a couple of practical things you might be able to do in the morning is starting with 1 minute of quiet in the morning. That's it, 1 minute. 1 minute when there is no noise, nothing. Just be in a moment. And one of the best way is when you wake up. You stay in bed still, and you just be there for 1 minute. And you gradually extending that window. So what I did for me, and what I started, was a little bit different, because it was in the afternoon, I think, when I took that chair, or late morning, when I took the chair, put it on that deck, and I just told myself, no music, nothing, just observe. And I was amazed by the stillness, by letting myself be quiet and just become the observer, how peaceful it was. And what the world is around us as well, being present and immersed to the moment. So when we're talking about practicing meditation as well, the practice of sitting down, and again, you can sit down in a lotus position, or you can be sitting on a chair. It doesn't matter. You can be laying down on the ground as well. It doesn't matter how you do it. When you're closing your eyes, you just take 3 deep breaths, very slow. With your nose, you inhale, and with your mouth, you're going to exhale slowly. So this will help you to be grounded. This is the one that really helps you. And then you can close your eyes, and because closing your eyes will also help you to cut yourself out of the world. You're not going to be distracted from the world and for your surrounding. And what you do is, by doing this, then you could put a timer, a quiet timer, for a couple of minutes, for 5 minutes. And as you practice your 5 minutes for 3 to 4 days, then you're going to increase that time. And the more you're doing, the better it is. So there is days you're going to be the observer of your thoughts. You're going to see your thought passing by. Oh, I need to go grocery. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Off you go. Then you're going to have maybe a situation and you deal with coworkers that irritate the life out of you for a minute. That comes back, and that wants to spiral down to a fake one in your mind to have that battle, then you observe it. Okay, I'm observing that thoughts. Okay, off you go. You don't interact with your thoughts. You stay as an observer. When you understand that, and it takes time because there is day the practice is gonna go fantastic. It's like walking on clouds. I did awesome, and the next day you're gonna suck at it. It's like, oh my god, I cannot do this. And it's like, well, it's a practice. We don't ask for every day to be perfect. It's the intent and doing those steps. So some days, yes, perfection is right there. It's like, oh my God, I had such a beautiful time with quietness, with silence. And I really embrace and bring transformation to my own self because that transformation will help you. That practice actually change your outer condition and start to bring you where you need to be, which is grounding yourself. In the middle of chaos, you're not going to be grounded. When you're up in arms and on the warpath because something needs to be fixed at work or at home, blah, 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 that doesn't help you to be grounded. When you're grounded, the perceptions changes on situation that could have been handled a different way, will be handled a different way because you are grounded. You see something that you might not have seen it before. You may be going to realize that it's wasting your time to always go to battle with some individuals who spend their time in drama. Maybe you're going to realize that your behaviors that you have done have affected others, like your children, like your relationship with your children, with your mate. Things of how you transform yourself to bring that peace of mind. Because one thing we all want in our lives, and it doesn't matter who you are, is peace. Is being whole, grounded, peaceful, happy, or love. And love. Not or, but and. When you put yourself in a silent, you really ground yourself. And grounding, you're not in a flight or fight mode. You handle things in a different way. So when you're practicing, and that's why when I said my practice was staying outside, silence myself, and learn to be still. The stillness, not moving, not running, not, I'm going to do this. No. It's stillness, mindfulness. And those are practice you do every day. I've learned from my pops and being where I am right now that time is an illusion. And I have learned to extend time to do things because if you are always thinking you're running out of time, you're running out of time. But when you expand and said, I always have the time to do everything, everything is done on time. Then you expend the time in order to finish what you got to do. The practice of intentional silence is a beautiful way to really bring yourself back to where you're supposed to be. We are the creator of our own environment, of our own life. We are the master of our own destiny. Living in a chaos and be sucked into whatever delusional world is going on out there that really want to suck out our peace of mind and our groundness, learn to step away. Maybe with family, it's easier at night or in evening and when everybody is here at home, ready to go. Quiet everybody else is down. Have a basket and say everybody put their phone in there, turn off the TV, bring the silence in at the time of the dinner. Instead of having kids eating in their room, everybody at the table eating peacefully for an hour. Cut off all social media and everything for an hour and see what's going to happen. But bring your own peacefulness, utilizing the intentional silence. As I said during meditation, your thoughts gonna come and go, and you see them passing without judgment. Nothing. You are the observer. Okay, I see you. Have a nice day. Next one's coming. Okay, we're fine. And breathe. Use the technique of breathing very slowly in and exhale slowly out. This will help you. It's easy to be sucked into the world of madness where real life transformation from I'm burnout to I'm good. I don't have that burnout. I don't have that life of noise, that emotional chaos. I'm leaving that behind. What you find is peace and success through silence and solitude. Solitude can be for an hour. Solitude could be for a weekend. Could be for a half a day where you really bring yourself to that place of peacefulness. So the challenge is perhaps you need a Sunday silence hour, a nature walk without technology. Just the fact to do not have your phone with you and go for a walk. That's what when I had my pups, they were walking around it. What do you call it? Where I lived. I had my phone, but I could not take my phone because I had two dogs. So I'm on the lead, and I would not use the phone. I had my phone with me just in case something happened, but I wasn't using it or texting it. I used to go at 5 o'clock in the morning. We used to go play in a baseball field tennis with the pups. I did recorded the word of the day, and after that, I put it back in my pocket. And for about 45 minutes, something like that, an hour if I could, we were playing in the dark. It was fun, actually. I was playing in the dark with the pups, taking the time to remove yourself from the chaotic world. You could also do a 7-day challenge where you reduce your input and observe what shifts within you. So a 7-day challenge would be, okay, I am going to wake up every morning. I'm going to do a 2-minute silence or 5-minute silence, or I'm going to wake up and I'm going to walk and be in silent for my, breakfast. And until the time I leave for the office, I am going to stay in silence. If you can do that, that's great. And do an hour of silence, maybe going for a walk, enjoying nature. You don't have to talk with your mate. You just have to walk and enjoy a peaceful walk in silence. Such a great transformation when you do this, because when you choose silence, you don't lose your voice. You find it. Stillness is not the absence of life. It is the presence of your essence. In a quiet, your truth finally has space to speak. A lot of inspiration, a lot of our moment came in silence. When I used to do yoga, I do different exercise now, but when I used to do yoga, I used to do it for an hour every day. And I said it several times actually in previous podcasts. I had to have a pen and paper next to me, because when I was coming back from work, I used to, and even days I didn't want to do it. I was dragging my bones. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like having a temper tantrum. It's like, no. Well, I did it anyhow. And during the process of doing the yoga, focusing on the pause, being in a present moment, making sure I was aligned when I was doing all of the exercise, then guess what happened? Solution will come. And I'm like, are you serious? So the first time I used to take my laptop and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm like, no, Emma. This is your practice of yoga right now. So take a pen and paper, write it down. So I would stop everything, write it down. I was done with that. I will continue the yoga, because I used to find solution. Like Einstein said, you need to play a lot. When you play, meaning when your mind is just doing something else than you really love to do, then solution will come. Yes. So playtime is equal to silence, is equal to grounding ourselves, because we have solutions, but we're so obsessed by go, obsession after social media, blah, 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 blah. We're losing actually to listen to our inner self and the solution are always coming toward us, but the ideas and the solution cannot come in if we are bombarded by distractions. So try that technique. Try to maybe get up if you don't have children, because children is a bit more challenging, but if you get up before the children, then take the first 5-10 minutes in silence. Nothing, no distraction by anything, no phone, nothing. And just see how it goes. And with the children, then start to set it up, even with your mate. We're going to eat together. It doesn't matter if you eat in silence. It's not uncomfortable. I love silence. Silence is beautiful. People are uncomfortable with silence because they have to, they're afraid. It's like, oh my God, if I don't talk, something is wrong. No, eat in silence. Appreciate what you're doing for a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. Cut off the phone and tell everybody we're not listening to TV. We're just going to keep it silent. Go outside. And, it's very nice when you see older people and they're all in their porch enjoying an evening or in the morning as well or at lunchtime. And they're all outside sitting on a porch and just grounding themselves, drinking tea, coffee, whatever, and observing what's going on. That's what we should be doing. So try that practice and let me know how it goes, because seriously, I love that practice. I do it with the pop-ups. Even in the morning, I used to record at the beginning of a walk or in the middle of the walk or word of the day. Now I'm doing it only at the end because I want to enjoy with my dogs, with my pop-ups when we're walking into the trails. I want to enjoy that with my dogs. So I have great moments with all of them because the way I do the practice with those guys, they are here sleeping and listening to me while I'm sleeping. Well, they're sleeping, not I'm sleeping. They're sleeping, not I'm sleeping. Or maybe I'm sleeping, who knows. But it's a moment of communion and peacefulness, and really take the time to observe. Your silence practice will be maybe walking very slowly and observing your body and observing how it feels to put a foot on the front of the others. Observing nature, what's going on around you as you're doing this. It's immersing yourself into the moment, because one thing we don't do is being present in a moment. And what creates our future is being in the present. Not projecting ourselves into the future, it's be in the present moment. So, all my love, guys, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast. Universe podcast.